The man who made us laugh on Breaking Bad just revealed the shocking truth about his missing father, and what happened next will blow your mind. Lavell Crawford's story isn't just about comedy success or his $2 million mansion. It's about a boy who turned his deepest pain into his greatest strength and the incredible transformation that changed everything. Picture this. You're 8 years old, getting bullied at school every single day because of your weight. The other kids call you names, teachers ignore it, and you go home to a house where your father simply isn't there anymore. Most kids would break under that pressure, but not Lavell Crawford. Instead of letting the world crush him, he decided to make the world laugh with him. That decision would eventually lead him from the streets of St. Louis to becoming one of America's most beloved comedians, earning millions and living in a mansion that most people only dream about. Behind those hilarious jokes and that infectious smile lies a story of incredible struggle, family secrets that shook him to his core, and a transformation so dramatic that even his closest friends barely recognized him. Today we're going beyond the laughs to uncover the real story of how a kid from a broken home built a comedy empire worth millions, faced his demons head-on, and discovered truths about his family that changed everything. Lavell Maurice Crawford was born on November 11, 1968, in St. Louis, Missouri. His childhood wasn't the typical story you'd expect from someone who would later make millions making people laugh. His mother, Anita, was doing everything she could to keep food on the table and a roof over their heads. She worked multiple jobs, juggling responsibilities that no single parent should handle alone. Meanwhile, his father, Lavell Crawford, who owned a gym and was a bodybuilder, made the decision that would haunt Lavell for decades. He walked away from his family when Lavell was just a small child. That abandonment created a hole in young Lavell's heart that he tried to fill with food. When other kids at school would tease him about his weight, calling him Fat Lavell and leaving him out of games and activities, he would go home and eat. When he felt lonely or sad or angry, he would eat. Food became his comfort, his friend, and unfortunately, his biggest enemy. The cycle was vicious. The more he ate, the bigger he got. The bigger he got, the more kids picked on him. The more they picked on him, the more he turned to food for comfort. But something interesting happened as Lavell got older. Instead of letting the bullies control the narrative about his weight, he decided to control it himself. He started making jokes about being big before anyone else could make fun of him. He discovered that if he could make people laugh about his size, they couldn't hurt him with it anymore. This wasn't just a defense mechanism. It was the birth of what would become his signature comedy style. He was learning to turn his pain into punchlines, his struggles into stories that made people laugh instead of cry. Despite everything happening at home and school, Lavell was actually a good student. He focused on his studies and eventually made it to Missouri Western State College, where he studied computer science. For a while, it looked like he might follow a traditional path, get a degree, find a stable job, and live a quiet life behind a computer screen. But deep inside, Lavell knew that wasn't his calling. Every time he made people laugh, every time he told a story that had his friends rolling on the floor, he felt alive in a way that computer programming never could. In 1990, at the age of 22, Lavell made one of the biggest decisions of his life. He decided to pursue comedy seriously. This wasn't just a hobby anymore or something he did to make his friends laugh. This was going to be his career. He started performing at local comedy clubs and open mic nights around St. Louis. The audiences loved his storytelling style and his ability to find humor in even the most difficult situations. His comedy wasn't mean-spirited or fake. It came from real experiences, real pain, and real triumph. By the mid-1990s, Lavell was becoming a regular on BET's Comic View, which was a huge platform for up-and-coming black comedians. Every appearance brought him more fans and more recognition. People weren't just laughing at his jokes. They were connecting with his stories. They saw themselves in his struggles with weight, with family problems, with trying to make it in a world that often seemed stacked against them. Lavell wasn't just a comedian. He was becoming a voice for people who felt like nobody understood their struggles. The real breakthrough came in 2007 when Lavell appeared on NBC's Last Comic Standing. This was national television, prime time, millions of viewers watching. Lavell didn't just participate, he dominated. His performances were so strong, so authentic, and so consistently funny that he made it all the way to the finals. He finished as the runner-up, but in many ways that second-place finish was actually better than winning. It gave him the recognition and credibility he needed without the pressure that comes with being labeled the winner. Suddenly, comedy clubs across the country wanted to book him. Television producers were calling. His whole world was about to change. But perhaps the most unexpected opportunity came when casting directors for a new TV show called Breaking Bad saw something special in Lavell. They weren't looking for him to play a comedian or someone funny. They wanted him to play El Babino, a serious character who served as a bodyguard and loyal associate to Saul Goodman, the sleazy lawyer character played by Bob Odenkirk. This role would introduce Lavell to millions of viewers who had never seen his stand-up comedy. Huel became such a popular character that when Better Call Saul, the prequel to Breaking Bad, was created, Lavell was brought back to reprise his role. The success from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul opened doors that Lavell never could have imagined. Movie roles started coming in. He appeared in films like The Ridiculous Six and American Ultra. But more importantly, it gave him the financial security and name recognition to focus on what he loved most: stand-up comedy. His comedy specials, including Can a Brother Get?, Some Love, Home for the Holidays, and New Look, Same Funny, showcased his incredible ability to blend humor with deeply personal stories about family, weight, race, and the everyday struggles that everyone faces. His 2021 comedy special, Comedy Vaccine, was particularly meaningful because it dealt with his personal struggles during the pandemic. The special was so well received that it earned him something most comedians only dream about: a Grammy nomination for Best Comedy Album. While he didn't win, the award ultimately went to Dave Chappelle for The Closer. The nomination itself was a huge milestone. It was recognition from the entertainment industry that Lavell Crawford wasn't just a funny guy who got lucky. He was a legitimate artist whose work deserved to be mentioned alongside the best comedians in the world. Throughout this period of professional success, Lavell was also dealing with something much more personal and complicated. The success and recognition were wonderful, but they couldn't fill the hole left by his father's abandonment decades earlier. That changed in an unexpected way when Lavell was in his late 30s. His father, who had been absent for more than 20 years, reached out and wanted to reconnect. This wasn't just a simple family reunion. When they finally sat down to talk, Lavell's father revealed something that completely changed how Lavell understood his childhood and his family. His father told him that he was gay and had been living with a male partner. For Lavell, this revelation was complicated. On one hand, he felt like he finally understood something about his father that had been a mystery his whole life. On the other hand, he struggled with anger about the abandonment. In Lavell's mind, whatever personal struggles his father was dealing with regarding his sexuality, that didn't justify walking away from his children. A father's responsibility to his kids should come before everything else, regardless of personal circumstances. The conversation between Lavell and his father was long and emotional. His father gave him space to ask questions and express his feelings. They eventually reached a place of understanding, but it didn't erase the years of pain and confusion. Lavell had spent his entire childhood wondering why his father left, creating stories in his head about what he might have done wrong. Learning the truth was both a relief and a new source of pain. It was a relief because it wasn't about him. But it was painful because it meant his father had chosen to deal with his personal struggles by abandoning his family rather than finding a way to be both true to himself and present for his children. This experience had a profound impact on Lavell's comedy. He became more thoughtful about the jokes he told, especially when they involved marginalized groups. He realized that comedy could either tear people down or build them up, and he wanted his humor to come from a place of understanding rather than ignorance. Sadly, Lavell's father passed away in 2015, just a few years after they had reconnected. While they had made peace with each other, Lavell still carries some regret that they didn't have more time to build a stronger relationship. While Lavell was building his career and dealing with family complications, he was also fighting another battle that was literally a matter of life and death. His weight had been a source of comedy material for years, but it was also becoming a serious health threat. He was dealing with high blood pressure, heart problems, and the increasing risk of diabetes. The physical challenges were getting worse, but so were the social and emotional challenges. One particularly humiliating experience happened when Lavell was traveling to a comedy show. He boarded an airplane that was nearly full, and a flight attendant told him that he would need to get off the plane because his weight was affecting the aircraft's balance. Imagine the embarrassment and frustration of being told that your presence on an airplane was a safety hazard. But the worst part wasn't even being asked to leave. The worst part was that when he gathered his things and walked off the plane, the other passengers actually applauded. They were happy to see him go. That moment was a wake-up call that his weight wasn't just affecting his health. It was affecting how the world treated him as a human being. Lavell tried to lose weight the natural way first. He started hiking, running, and boxing. He had always been surprisingly athletic for his size, but his real struggle was with food. Eating had been his emotional outlet for so long that breaking that cycle felt almost impossible. Whether he was sad, bored, happy, or stressed, his default response was to eat. Learning that food didn't have to be his primary coping mechanism became one of the most important life lessons he ever learned. Eventually, inspired by his sister's successful weight loss journey, Lavell made the decision to undergo gastric sleeve surgery. This wasn't an easy choice. Surgery always carries risks, and there's often stigma around people who choose surgical weight loss options. The surgery was just one tool. The real work came in completely changing his relationship with food and maintaining an exercise routine that would support his new lifestyle. The transformation was remarkable. Lavell lost over 100 pounds, and the change wasn't just physical. His energy levels improved dramatically. His health markers went from dangerous to normal. His confidence increased even more than it had been before. But perhaps most importantly, he proved to himself that he could take control of his life in ways he never thought possible. The kid who used to eat to cope with bullying had become a man who could face challenges head-on and overcome them through determination and hard work. Throughout all of these personal and professional challenges, Lavell had one constant source of support that made everything else possible: his wife, Lavell Crawford. Born Deshawn Jones on May 12, 1980 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, she brought stability and love to Lavell's life at a time when he needed it most. Unlike many celebrities' spouses who seek the spotlight, Deshawn has always preferred to stay in the background, focusing on her own business ventures and supporting her husband's career from behind the scenes. Deshawn is an entrepreneur in her own right. She owns Danita Marie, an online boutique that specializes in trendy women's fashion. Her business focuses on helping women feel confident and empowered through fashion choices that are both stylish and accessible. Lavell and Deshawn got married on February 14, 2009, choosing Valentine's Day as their wedding date. They've now been married for over 16 years, and Lavell never misses an opportunity to publicly appreciate his wife and acknowledge the role she's played in his success. The couple has one son together, Lavell Crawford, who was born on November 19, 2010. They've made the decision to raise their family in St. Louis, Missouri, rather than moving to Los Angeles or New York, where many entertainment industry families live. This choice reflects their values and their desire to stay connected to their roots. Today, Lavell Crawford has an estimated net worth of $2 million. This wealth comes from multiple sources: his stand-up comedy tours, his television and film work, his comedy specials, and various other entertainment projects. Rather than buying a flashy mansion in Beverly Hills, Lavell chose to purchase a beautiful home in a quiet, upscale neighborhood outside St. Louis. The house is a red brick colonial-style mansion that spans nearly 5,000 square feet with 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Inside, Lavell has completely transformed the space with modern design elements, including white furniture, contemporary finishes, and a stunning black marble island in the kitchen. The house includes special spaces that reflect Lavell's priorities. The master bedroom connects to a sun-drenched office where he writes new material for his stand-up sets. The basement serves multiple purposes: part workout space, part lounge, and part library. His car collection also reflects his practical, family-focused personality. Instead of collecting exotic sports cars like many celebrities, Lavell drives vehicles that prioritize space, comfort, and reliability. His Cadillac Escalade, priced around $95,000, provides 3 rows of seating and a plush interior that's perfect for family trips. His Chrysler 300 offers quiet luxury for everyday driving, and he also owns a Chevrolet Tahoe for its durability and functionality. What many people don't know about Lavell is how much he gives back to his community. While he doesn't often publicize his charitable work, those close to him know that he has a generous heart and a desire to help people facing the same challenges he once faced. One cause that's particularly close to his heart is childhood obesity awareness and health education. In 2021, he partnered with the American Heart Association and donated $25,000 to fund wellness initiatives in underprivileged neighborhoods in Missouri. Lavell has also been involved with Stand Up to Cancer, contributing $10,000 in honor of friends and fans affected by the disease. He supports organizations dedicated to youth development and education, making regular donations to Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis, contributing $15,000 toward after-school programs and mentorship initiatives. His goal is to give kids opportunities he didn't have: a safe space, positive role models, and the belief that they can dream beyond their zip code. Lavell and Deshawn also quietly support local families during the holidays through a personal initiative they call Crawford Christmas Givebacks. This program provides food, clothing, and toys to families in need. The Crawfords have reportedly spent over $20,000 of their own money on this effort since 2017. Looking at Lavell Crawford's life today, it's remarkable to think about how far he's come from that scared, overweight kid being bullied in St. Louis. He's built a comedy career that has brought joy to millions of people around the world. He's created financial security for his family. He's overcome serious health challenges through determination and lifestyle changes. He's found peace with his father's memory and learned to forgive old wounds. Most importantly, he's used his success as a platform to help others who are facing the same struggles he once faced. Perhaps the most impressive thing about Lavell Crawford isn't his professional success or his personal transformation. It's his authenticity. In an entertainment industry that often rewards people for being fake, Lavell has built his entire career on being genuinely himself. His comedy comes from real experiences, real pain, and real joy. His relationships with his family and friends are built on honesty and mutual support. Lavell's story proves that it's possible to take the worst things that happen to you and transform them into sources of strength. The abandonment by his father became material that helps other people dealing with family dysfunction. The bullying he experienced as a child became the foundation for comedy that makes people feel less alone in their struggles. The health challenges he faced became motivation to help others live healthier lives. From being the kid no one believed in to becoming one of the most recognizable and beloved voices in comedy, Lavell Crawford's journey is proof that laughter really can be both healing and revolutionary. And that success means nothing if you don't use it to lift up others along the way. What part of Lavell's incredible transformation inspired you the most?